very mysterious light indeed, a light appearing high in the Arctic sky, baffling those who saw it and exciting a lot of comment. Early yesterday morning, just before dawn, this appeared in the Norwegian sky.
I helvete det där?
That's Norwegian for what the heck is that? A blue light, small at first, growing into a spiral, and then disappearing into what appeared to be a black hole. In the northern community of Trondelag and on a Norwegian military base, cell phones snapped, video cameras rolled, and bloggers got busy.
Central America are still trying to reach victims of Tropical Storm Agatha. At least 150 people have died since Saturday. Agatha caused damage in Guatemala, Honduras, and El Salvador. Floodings and landslide in Guatemala, they have left scores of people missing. Over 100,000 have been evacuated. In the capital, flooding opened a massive sinkhole which swallowed a building.
Begin with the latest on the earthquake in Chile. The death toll now stands at more than 300, though officials fear that number could climb much higher. The mayor of the city of Concepcion says 100 people are trapped in a collapsed building. The quake generated a tsunami that prompted warnings and evacuations as far off as Hawaii and Japan. But fortunately, the tsunami turned out to be a mild one. Seth Doan has the latest.
Just a day after one of the strongest earthquakes ever recorded rocked Chile, the country is still trying to comprehend what happened. The quake shook people awake early Saturday morning. Cameras captured its 90 terrifying seconds. In Chile's capital, Santiago, even 200 miles from the center of the quake, eyewitness Cecilia Lagos says it seemed like the end of the world.
It was absolutely frightening, absolutely terrifying.
Even closer, just 70 miles from the epicenter, is Chile's second largest city, Concepcion. There, the earth opened up, tearing apart asphalt and even buildings, toppling bridges and tossing cars like toys.
Reports and images that we've seen, collapsed hospitals, crumbled homes, and men and women carrying their injured neighbors through the streets are truly heartbreaking.
It has been 5 days now since 4:53 Tuesday afternoon. A city shaken to its core, collapsing in a cloud of dust.
The world is coming to an end!
The anguish was immediate and would only get worse and worse.
It has been a horrifying week here in Port-au-Prince, a week where the dead, the injured, and the homeless are sharing a city largely reduced to rubble. A week where people had to fend for themselves, desperate for food and water, tending to their own injuries, burying their own dead. It is only now that aid is finally starting to arrive.
But it's taken 5 days, very long days.
A strange spiralling white light was spotted in the early morning sky over Sydney, with even sceptical witnesses wondering if it was a UFO. The unusual sight was recorded by hundreds of people from Victoria north to Queensland.
It appeared just before 6 o'clock this morning.
That's a UFO.
A spiral in the sky around a bright light.
I mean, what in the hell was it?
Malcolm Richardson saw it move from west to east, disappearing into the sunrise.
It was actually rotating and throwing off a vapour, glowing vapour, in a spiral that was getting bigger.
He was not alone. Early morning surfers, farmers, truckies grabbed their phone cameras, still cameras, web cameras.
It's just the most astounding thing. I'm looking out the window now trying to see if it's come back or not.
From central Queensland to Melbourne, along the east coast, people shared a close encounter.
Oil keeps gushing from the deep water well, adding to this catastrophic slick flowing into the Gulf of Mexico. Meanwhile, a Senate hearing into the disaster has seen oil companies' executives blaming each other. When US President Barack Obama voiced his frustration at the response to what is feared could be the country's worst ever environmental accident.
British Petroleum had promised the federal government and the state government that they would have the equipment to prevent the spill from spreading right there on Bly Island. What British Petroleum did is they said they had it out there, and they didn't. You don't start building a fire department after the fire is started. So this is British Petroleum's modus operandi that we've seen for 2 decades. I've been following this company for 2 decades. It's penny pinching, and the pennies add up. Last year, they cut production costs by $1 billion while production increased in the most dangerous areas like offshore.
再高钱，他一直从腰子这转，一直转，走不动嘛，看，你不是？漂亮，我还记得。啊，他一直是这个位置走不动。我记得。咱那个。
Thousands of fish are dead at the mouth of a shipping channel, as well as a dead whale that was reported in Venice today. The species include crabs, stingrays, eel, drum, speckled trout, and redfish. The video you're about to see is not a gravel road. Those are the dead fish.
Sing a song of suspense, one where the end is nigh, as thousands of blackbirds fell out of the sky. And when the birds were found, the news began to sing. The end of days conspiracy does have a catchy ring.
有没有看错？照片当中好像真的出现2个太阳，奇特的太阳双胞胎组像在澎湖海边被民众捕捉放上网，立刻引发议论。有人不敢置信，惊呼那也安呢？有人甚至说，莫非太阳也有分身术？
The compass is becoming more inaccurate every day. It's not a result of faulty manufacturing. It's because the North Pole itself is changing. Follow me now. This problem is actually so drastic that workers at Tampa International and Peter O. Knight airports are rushing to make changes.
Robert Burr of TIA says runway 36 originally pointed due north to 360 degrees, or it did before the magnetic shift. Now it points just right at 10 degrees north.
This was the wave, the first wave at least, as it struck the northern coast, bringing debris and buildings with it. Some of the assessments talk of a huge wave out in the Pacific, or maybe 32 feet high. The Philippines on alert, Hawaii, outlying islands, Russia as well. But this first initial wave estimated to be about 4 meters high. That's about 12, 13 feet high. The latest from the Meteorological Agency are warning people to get to safer ground. That's the Pacific Tsunami Warning Center in Hawaii. So it's now in place for Japan, Russia, the Marcus Islands, Northern Marianas, Guam, Taiwan, the Philippines, Indonesia, and Hawaii itself. We understand the quake itself, about 6 miles down underground, 80 miles off the eastern coast of Japan. That's about 240 miles northeast of Tokyo, but we have pictures of Tokyo itself being badly shaken in downtown Tokyo. Workers pouring into the streets to reach safety. Smoke seen from some buildings. In central Tokyo, trains stop, passengers then walking along the platforms. One ceiling, a large hall has collapsed with an unknown number of injuries so far.